Nigeria is just a name that the British like threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. When in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was like running late.
And so it's like, so this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust theme, but like these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that like a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe. So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute, so the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and, enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African-American community here, which makes sense to me why they're all being like, we have an Israelite affinity where we're identifying, this is us, we are this. And so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people are in them, they have a valid claim to feel and say that.
Shalom. Kahala Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahshai Ba'Shem Qadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles of Israel, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, with the house of David reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the video we just watched and how our enemies are starting to have to admit that the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans are in fact the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. But before we get into that, let's read this. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahshai, thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So you see, as Rabbi Harry Rosenberg is acknowledging here, and he's acknowledged this in other videos that have come out by him, is what a lot of his compatriots refuse to acknowledge. Either knowingly or stubbornly, they decide to look past all the evidence, namely the evidence that I just read, the evidence that the curses that the Lord put upon us Israelites would be a sign of who are the Israelites throughout all time. Okay? And this is in Deuteronomy 28, which again, if you understand what Deuteronomy 28 is, it's the chapter which tells the Israelites what their blessings would be if they follow the Lord and what their curses would be if they disobey the Lord. Well, like I just read, these curses would be a sign on who would be the Israelites. Well, these curses affect these groups of people, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, equally. Okay, this is why we all had the same things happen to us. Our enemies came against us from the other sides of the earth. We were conquered. We went into slavery, hard bondage. We lost our identities. This is why the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, for the most part, do not hold their last names anymore. They hold the names of their captors, right? The only tribe that this didn't really happen to, that much at least, would be the Native American Indians. A lot of them still hold onto their Native American last names, but again, those aren't even their true last names. Okay, these are new names that came on, that were chosen by them in the latter days after they've lost their identity, according to Jeremiah 17:4. Like it tells you here at the top, it says the true Israelites went into slavery and lost their heritage. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahshai, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. The point here is that our enemies in these latter days are being found to be liars. The history that they've documented, the statements that they've made about us, how when they found the Latinos and the Native Indians, they called us savages, right? That we were an unsocialized people. That when they found the Southern Kingdom, the so-called Negroes in Africa, that it was the blacks selling the other blacks, right? They didn't tell you that it was the true Africans selling the children of Israel. Like this one man here, Harry Rosenthal, said, right? He said that that 1/4 of these people came from the Igbo tribe, right? The tribe which today is, legally recognized as Jews by the Israeli government. Okay, but again, it doesn't matter if they acknowledge that the Negroes are Jews or not. We don't need their validation, and that's because we have the Lord's validation. The Bible confirms that the Negro, Latino, Native Americans are in fact the Israelites. Right? We're the ones who have the true Holocaust. We're the ones who these curses afflict. And again, now the Lord is making it manifest, and all the world is starting to realize who are the true Israelites of the Bible. Okay, and these devils, these Edomites, are trying all they can to try to hide it, to the point where even some of them are now starting to admit it and trying to co-opt this truth and make it sound as if that some so-called black people are Israelites, right? Or some Latinos are. When there's a whole religion, Mormonism, based off of the fact that the Latinos and Native Americans are in fact the lost Israelites. All right? You see, the thing is these devils, they can't keep this under wraps anymore, right? And that's because their lies are being revealed in these end times. The Lord is revealing the truth to the world. This is Mark 4:22. For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. And that's what's happening, right? You're starting to get every day Negro, Latino, Native Americans starting to understand what the truth of the Bible is. You're starting to get people who were never into this truth understanding that Negro, Latino, Native Americans are in fact the true Israelites, right? This whole truth about Hebrew Israelism is starting to manifest throughout the world. And again, like the scripture says, right, there's going to be nothing hid that is not going to be manifested to the world. And what we're seeing, namely in this video, is just the acceptance of the truth by our enemies, right? But hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Qadash. Shalom.